No creature plays more on the wants and fears of people than the Rusalka. Or that's what most people now think. The Rusalka is known as an enchanting siren, wooing their victims near swamps and lakes to a watery grave. But this isn't how the story started. This video explores the history and transformation of the undead maiden. Welcome to the mysteries of mythology, the Rusalka. You find yourself out for a walk at night near a lake in Eastern Europe, and from deep within the veil of mist, you hear the gentle singing of a beautiful voice. Curious, you walk toward the water and, through the reeds, see a woman swimming in the lake. Around her pale face, a long tail of green-tinted hair flows behind her. The chill of the night doesn't seem to bother her, and she stands splashing the water of the lake across her naked body. You notice that you are standing at the edge of the lake, wondering how you got there. As you look up, you notice that she is now facing you. She has a figure of breathtaking beauty emerging from the misty waters. Her hair, long and unrestrained, flows like the very currents of the lake she inhabits. You notice the glow in her eyes, and at first you assume it's the light of the moon. But as she gets closer, you see that the light comes from within. Unable to move, the last thing you feel is her cold body pressed against you and her long, wet hair enveloping you tightly as she pulls you into the lake. The modern Rusalka, often depicted as an undead being, is tragically bound to water. Her tragic fate is linked to a desperate escape from abuse, leading to her drowning or a forced demise due to an unwanted pregnancy. Lurking in various waters, be it rivers, lakes, or murky swamps, Rusalki are envisioned as mesmerizing women. Their hair, a spectrum of shades from deep green to jet black, cascades around them like aquatic veils. They wield an almost magnetic allure, drawing victims with their enchanting beauty or a voice that hypnotizes like a siren's call. These beings ensnare the unwary with an eerie intimacy. Victims, once within reach, find themselves entangled in a lethal embrace, ensnared by legs and hair that coil with unnatural strength, dragging them to the watery abyss. Escape is a futile endeavor. Their skin becomes as slippery as the water's surface, making resistance a lost cause. Some tales speak of a more whimsical yet sinister Rusalka who would tickle her victims into breathlessness before their final plunge into the depths. The soul of the Rusalka would be trapped in this form until her death was avenged. For those who think they could escape her beauty, the Rusalka can appear in whatever form the victim considers to be beautiful. If the sight of a naked woman swimming in a lake at night with pale white skin, long flowing green hair and glowing eyes doesn't already signal a Rusalka to you, then look for a comb made of fish bones as a common giveaway. Her long hair is said to symbolize a wild and unruly spirit. This starkly contrasts the traditional Slavic portrayal of womanhood, where married women wore their hair in tightly braided styles. Above the water, Rusalki are depicted with slender figures, their skin pale and hair undulating in hues of blonde, brown, or even mystical green, sometimes with eyes that blaze like emerald fire. Yet, beneath the surface, some legends describe a more malevolent and decayed form. In certain regions, Rusalki are intertwined with forest and swamp lore like Boginka, the forest goddess, or Dziwożona, the wild woman. Adorned with garb of leaves and bark, they are a fusion of woodland and water mystique. In the early chapters of Slavic mythology, the Rusalka was not the fearsome creature we know today. She was a symbol of fertility and benevolence, a guardian spirit of nature. These early Rusalki emerged with the spring, dancing joyously near lakes and rivers, their presence a blessing that brought life and vitality to the crops and the earth. Rooted deeply in the traditions of early Slavic paganism, they were revered as protectors, with water, their domain, seen as a sacred source of life. But as the pages of history turned, so too did the story of the Rusalka. The 19th century brought a tide of change that swept across the Slavic lands, reshaping the Rusalka's image from a nurturing spirit to a vengeful water demon. This dramatic shift was influenced by a confluence of cultural, social, and religious changes. The spread of Christianity played a crucial role in this transformation. As the new religion took root, it often cast the pagan deities and spirits in a sinister light. The Rusalka, once a revered nature spirit, became a symbol of paganism's darkness, aligning with the Christian concepts of evil and the ungodly. This era also saw a shift in gender perceptions, where patriarchal views often cast women as submissive or dangerously cunning. This changing perception seeped into the mythology, warping the image of the Rusalka from an independent guardian to a vengeful victim wronged by male betrayal. The cultural landscape of the time, enamored with Romanticism and the Gothic revival, also played its part. The era's fascination with dark, supernatural themes recast the Rusalka as a figure of terror and mystery, a perfect fit for Gothic tales of ghosts and vampires. Influential literary works like Alexander Pushkin's The Drowned Maiden further cemented the Rusalka's vengeful portrayal. These stories resonated deeply, transforming her into a symbol of tragedy and revenge, a stark contrast to her earlier life-giving image. In this cultural upheaval, the Rusalka became a vessel for the era's anxieties and fears, a reflection of societal unrest, the mysteries of nature, and the complexities of human emotion. However, this transformation wasn't universal. In some corners of the Slavic world, the Rusalka's earlier, gentler nature persisted in folk traditions. But largely, the 19th century marked a pivotal moment, redefining these water maidens from symbols of fertility and nature to embodiments of danger and vengeance. In popular culture, the tale of the Rusalka has been vividly reimagined, most notably in Antonín Dvořák's opera, Rusalka. This opera, a jewel of Czech national music, tells a poignant and enchanting story, deeply rooted in Slavic folklore, yet universal in its themes. The opera unfolds the tragic tale of Rusalka, a water nymph who falls deeply in love with a human prince. Longing to become human to be with him, Rusalka seeks the help of a witch, Jezibaba. The witch grants her wish, but with a grave cost. Once transformed, Rusalka will lose the ability to speak, and if her love is not reciprocated, both she and the prince will be damned. Rusalka's transformation into a human is a poignant symbol of love's sacrifices and the pain of unfulfilled desires. Her silent presence captivates the prince, but their happiness is short-lived. Misunderstandings and the prince's infidelity lead to a tragic conclusion. The prince, realizing his mistake too late, seeks Rusalka's forgiveness. But the curse's resolution is as heartbreaking as the love story itself. With a kiss, Rusalka dooms the prince to death. The prince's infidelity had broken the witch terms of true love. With the prince dead, Rusalka returns to her form as a water nymph, forever mourning the loss of her love. In literature, Catherine Arden's The Bear and the Nightingale weaves the Rusalka into its rich story of Russian folklore. Here, the Rusalka is portrayed not just as a fearsome entity, but as a complex character, embodying the mystique and danger of the wild. In Slavic culture, the mystical allure of the Rusalka extends beyond folklore into traditional observances, notably Rusalka Week. Celebrated in early June, this week-long festivity is rooted in ancient rituals intended to appease the Rusalki. But why did the Rusalka exist, and what does the myth mean? More than mythical figures, Rusalki resonate profoundly not just within Slavic culture, but all of humanity, embodying the nuanced interplay between humanity and nature, and mirroring complex themes of gender, love, and the metaphysical. The Rusalka can be said to embody the duality of womanhood, the nurturing and the vengeful, the life-giver and the destroyer. On one hand, the Rusalka is often depicted as a nurturing spirit, a symbol of fertility and the life-giving force of nature. Yet on the other, she manifests the darker, more destructive side of the natural world and a woman's scorn. Rusalka tales are closely tied to themes of love, desire, and betrayal. They can be seen as metaphors for the complicated world of emotions and choices. These stories often spin tales of tragic love, unspoken yearnings, and the deep sadness of love that's lost. They warn us about the dangers of giving in too much to our passions and the fallout from breaking society's rules. The charm of the Rusalka becomes a symbol of how enticing yet risky love and desire can be. It shows us the delicate balance between feeling powerful and being vulnerable in matters of the heart. Lastly, the Rusalka myth is a powerful allegory for our relationship with nature. Depicted as both alluring and perilous, Rusalka reminds us of nature's dual aspects, its captivating beauty and inherent dangers, underscoring the need for respect and balance in our environmental interactions. So the next time you're walking by a body of water at night, if you hear a sweet voice calling to you, run! Watch one of the next videos to learn more about the mysteries of mythology.